I'm only 87 years old. Not 87 years old, I'm 87 years young. See all those lures hanging there? Every musky fisherman out there has probably 300, 400, 500 lures in their boat. I have them all over the place. My photographer friend Joe Lepage is taking the movie here. I'm showing this lady how to handle the equipment. Of course, she's no lady, that's my wife. When I take a party out, I instruct them on how to handle all the equipment and show them what to do. Then we say the musky prayer. The musky prayer goes like this: Dear Lord, may we catch a muskie so big that when telling about it, we'll have no need to lie. Bring us back home safely with our limit of muskies per each, especially since we're fishing with Homer Leblanc tackle. Amen. Everybody say, I believe. A lot of fishermen get out early, and I don't get out till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And they'll come over and ask me how many I've got already. Well, I've only just started fishing. They probably got a couple of them already. I hustle these fish to the boat a lot of times for the purpose of taking movies near the boat. Of course, photography is something that should be done by not have to be bothering with the boat and everything else. There's good action on this one. This looks like a nice sunshiny day, calm waters. Here's a very experienced fisherman. He's been out a lot of times. Always have a fish gripper to take hooks out, and take the hooks out with a pair of pliers. Have a knife handy to do some cutting if you have to. I have a big live box there with running water, and I keep them alive. And so when you get to the dock, why they're in good shape for photography purposes. He caught that one on a number 2 swim zag lure. That's a lure I designed years ago, called a swim zag lure. A muskie is a trophy fish, and they're not easily caught. Here's a friend of mine with, this is Ray Elke with 2 muskies already. This is Ray Trombley's boat. Also turned out to be a good fisherman. Great bass fisherman. This is my wife here. She's got this muskie on a Homer Leblanc 12-foot hollow glass rod, very light. She likes a long rod. Of course, she's used to one. She gets out once in a while, not too often. There's got to be a calm day. This fella and his partner came all the way from New York to come muskie fishing with me, and they chartered my boat several times. And I think this is the day we caught 3 muskies, and they walked right into the Statler Hotel with their muskies and to show their wives who were staying there at the Statler Hotel. Don Gillies, I had called him, and he went in there to take pictures, and there was quite a crowd. This is Derby Day. Everybody that catches a muskie, just come in, and of course the limit then was 30 inches, and they kept a lot of small muskies, and very few people released any fish. Today we release most of the muskies we catch. Yeah, this charter boat work is hard work. By the way, that's my daughter, Diana, and that's her girlfriend. I took them out muskie fishing, and I'm not supposed to say who caught the fish now. Look out there. I believe my daughter was about 16, 17 then. Uh-oh. Now this fish was caught maybe a half hour before a violent storm. And that's usually when a big fish will hit. That's quite a fish for anyone to catch. That one's caught with the orange swim whiz lure. That's another lure that I designed and manufactured. Now that's what the fish looked like after we got in, because it really got rough, and I ran out of film when I was out there taking pictures of the gals, and so when I got in, I put more film in the camera, and muskie had been pretty well beat up coming in over that rough lake. Oh, this is a cousin of mine. He hollered over. He said, "Are you Homer Leblanc?" I said, "I sure am." He says, "I am your cousin." And he wanted to show me his muskie because he caught it with my lure. A lot of beautiful sights on the lake there at times. Most of my movies that I take are, pretty well have to be taken in fairly calm waters. That was a nice action jump. One time I was taking a picture of a muskie near the boat, and I expected that he was going to jump most any time. And I held the camera on that muskie about 5 minutes. My arms got tired. I dropped my arms just for a second, and the muskie leaped right out of the water about 3 feet, and I missed the action. That's my party from New York again. They were really good fishermen. Had no problem with them. I never had to do any instructing or anything like that. It was just, they were just that good a fisherman. Of course, they had fished with me many times. There's the 3 muskies they took into the Stadler Hotel. This is my grandsons. Marty is the oldest one. He was 8 years old there, or 6 years old. And this was Brian was 6 years old, and Marty was 8 years old. These kids were experts. And every time that we'd go out muskie fishing, we'd catch one, two, or 3 muskies, and they'd always seem to catch each catch a muskie, and they were experts. They would just lay out the rods and everything. They did all the work. They were great fishermen. And that's their mother, my daughter. Now, every time they went fishing with me, it was always catching muskies, and they never missed. And they just couldn't understand such a thing as going out with their grandfather and not catching muskies. It just never happened. Oh, now on this fish, they were 8 years old and 10 years old. Martin was 10 years old and Brian was 8 years old. And Brian caught this 28-pound muskie, 51 inches long. And I measured the kid, and he was 51 inches also. So I called Morton F., and he said, "Let's get those kids on television." Here they are. Here I am trying to take pictures and getting them to hold the fish up. It's quite a fish for an 8-year-old kid to catch. There he is, Brian. Yeah, and that day, the other lad, Martin, caught a 17-pounder and a 12-pounder. Well, we're coming in now. Had Martin with a big smile there. He's got one on. I gave them each a tackle box full of Homer Leblanc lures. Of course, they don't fish with anything else, and neither do I. There's their 3 fish. Quite a catch for a couple of kids. There's their mother again, my daughter. I live right at the end of almost at the end of the canal there, and I'm only just 100 yards from the lake. And right across that canal is a high-rise apartment building. Here's Martin with one on now. I always loosen the drag and give a fish a chance to do battle. Never horse them. I never horse a fish in. These kids have caught so many muskies, it's hard to tell which one. Oh, this is Brian here with his 51-inch muskie. Now watch the way a pro handles it. Pump it forward with a light drag and let the tip down and reel in fast when you do. And these kids know how to handle that equipment. You know, if you loosen the drag and give a muskie a chance to do battle, he'll put on a good show for you. And if you want to get one to jump, when you have your rod in the rod holder, have a tight drag. When a muskie hits that lure on a tight drag, he can't hardly rip it out, and he'll come flying right out of the water. They run the boat. They do everything. I had lures hanging overhead all over the place. Those are all swim whizzes. The greatest musky lure that was ever designed. It's been copied by several manufacturers now. See, when I go musky fishing, I keep them alive in the live box, and then they're in better shape for taking photography after. The next day after we caught that 51-inch muskie, we went bass fishing, and in a couple hours we all got our limit. They're great fishermen, but they follow instructions, and when you give instructions to women or children, they do a better job than most men do. A lot of times you'll instruct men on what to do, and they know how, they give you that know-how, well, they don't know how. I was a party from New York that we were just going out with my old boat. This one was down into the weeds, I can see that. There's the boat coming back again. That's my old boat. 26-foot Chris Craft. You're allowed to bring 6 people aboard the boat. Operator's license don't allow you to bring any more than 6 people besides yourself. So when you have 6 people out, if you had to position to put out 12 rods, you could fish 12 rods. But I never fish any more than 8 rods, always 8 rods. I believe that was my friend Ken Black, one of my students. I've taught thousands and thousands of people how to fish muskies. This is Derby Day. Michigan Ontario Muskie Club hold derbies on Saturdays and Sundays. It's usually a 2-day derby. Joe Lepage and I are the originators of the Muskie Club. They made me an honorary member of the club. I'm also an honorary member of the Michigan Ontario Walleye Club. This is Muskie Club members' wives. Once a year I take the wives out. Of course, as a general rule, I don't have my wife along. I don't need her there. Was out with them one year there. We got 5 muskies, and 5 muskies on. They only boated 1. I let them do all the work. Those are Homer Leblanc lures that I designed. Swim widths to the left, and so on. Here's one over 30 pounds. My friend Joe Lepage is doing the photography work here. This is a teaser. We use them in saltwater fishing to attract fish. We don't use them anymore. Every lure that we got out there is a teaser to a muskie. With 8 rods out there, pulling one that teaser with would be just something in the way. That one was down into the weeds. If I remember right, I brought that muskie alongside and pulled the weeds off, and then let them out there for them to do battle so I could get some pictures. But they'll play dead a lot of times, and all at once, all hell breaks loose. He don't seem to want to do anything. I caught a 36-pound muskie one time, and the water was rough, and the muskie just wouldn't do battle at all. All he'd do is just follow the boat. And we had him near the boat, and I finally got disgusted and slipped the gaff under his throat and swung him into the boat. This is This is Ed Quinn, former president of Chrysler Division of Chryslers, and he's done a lot of fishing with me, and he did about $5,000 worth of work on my boat for me and charged me nothing. He chartered my boat a lot of times. Then he wound up buying his own boat. And he was just another competitor from then on. Now this is his wife, and that's my wife off to the left there. Show you what a smart man Ed Quinn is. He's holding my wife, and I'm holding his damn fish. Smart man. He's passed away now, though. He was a great hunter. He got clawed up by a line one time also. This charter boat work is rough work. They got seasick, and I always have Pepto-Bismol aboard the boat, and I gave him some of that Pepto-Bismol to drink and to take, and it's a good medicine. And by 11 o'clock, they were eating sandwiches again. This is Joe Lepage's son on the left there, and we call him Mike the Angler. He's a great fisherman. The limit in those days was 30 inches, and muskie fishing was new to a lot of people, and they just wanted to keep everything because they always wanted to say they'd caught a muskie. Now, all the muskies in Lake St. Clair are true muskies, but that looks like it's tiger striped, but that's still a spotted muskie, and it's a true muskie. Now, that one was a blue. That was a blue fish. Never saw another one since. I've caught silver ones on a few occasions, but only one blue one. Oh, this fisherman chartered my services quite often, and every time he'd come out, he'd always fish the same spot, right with the lure right close to the boat, just 4 feet off the stern of the boat. There's another one that's playing dead, but they sure come to action every once in a while. Boy, these fishermen, when they've caught a muskie, they're mighty proud of it. These are the ducks that are back of my canal there. And right across the canal from me is a high-rise apartment building there, and there's a lot of open property there. We have all kinds of pheasants, ducks, and everything else over there. Geese. Last year I had 7 geese come right up and have me feed them right between the boats. He's showing Willford Eves how to hold this muskie. This is over 30 pounds. And that's Joe Lepage, and he's going to take do some photography work here. He's showing him how to hold the fish now. Now watch how he does this. That's his son there. That's Willford Eves' son. Oh, he was in love with that fish. What a sweetheart. His wife is a beautiful woman, and she told me that he took the fish to bed with him, and of course she wouldn't climb in bed with him. He'd had a little pepto. That's his wife right there, Eva Eves. I was tempted to push him in the canal there. Love that fish. This is Derby Day again. That was Willford Eves and his wife there. That was just a short shot. This is Derby Day again. Muskie Club members' wives. That gal right there is a beauty contest winner. And they wanted to change their clothes and get into their bathing suit, take off their sunsuit and get into their bathing suits. And that gal there, she was had to open the hatch cover at the bow of the boat so she could change her clothes on. And of course, a good captain keeps his eyes forward, because you wouldn't want to run into another boat. So I told them that if they wanted to get in their bathing suits, that I'd keep my eyes forward, and they could change their suits in the back of the boat. There were no other boats around, so they said okay. And I told them, I said, when you're all through, just say when. So after they'd changed their clothes, they said when. I didn't pay no attention. They said, Homer, we said when. I said, I know you're all through. I said, I got a rear view mirror up overhead here. They really laughed. Every ladies' day that I took out Muskie Club members' wives, we always caught muskies. The swim-zag lure is the lure that I originally designed and marketed, and it's caught a lot of fish. It was one of the greatest spoons that ever was made. I fish it with a bucktail. And a bucktail hides the hooks. If fish see those hooks, they're very suspicious. There's Willford, Eves, and Eva within a 30-pounder there. And they registered that at Sam's Derby. This is Muskie Derby Day. That's her fish right there. This was Sam's Sports Shop. Sam has passed away some years ago. I have a lot of friends that have passed away. I'll probably live.
John Gross on Lake St. Clair. Some people fish for muskie for years and never catch one. We caught one first time out.
There's always an element of chance when you go fishing, but a sure way to stack the odds in your favor when you gamble on catching a big one is to have a person with some experience on hand. Channel 7's John Gross used that bit of sports wisdom in tonight's close-up report, Gone Fishing.
Gone fishing.
Homer Leblanc is 82 years old. He lives in St. Clair Shores, and he's been a muskie guide for 49 years.
Step right aboard, sir.
We chartered the boat Sea Dog out of Algonac, and our destination was 4 or 5 miles out, near the mouth of the Detroit River.
This is a muskie call. See, a muskie is a big muskie. You see, I call him. I was born in Stony Point there, and I'm an altar boy. I was an altar boy there. So if you'll kind of take your head off and face the church, I'm going to say the muskie prayer. Bart, dear Lord, may we catch a muskie so big that when telling about it, we'll have no need to lie. Bring us back home safely with our limit of muskies per each, especially since we're fishing with Homer Leblanc tackle. Amen. Say, I believe, everybody.
I believe.
I believe.
Was this a joke or what? Less than 30 minutes later...
Whoa! Whoa! Gee whiz!
It's unbelievable.
I believe. I believe.
Holy smokes.
No death grip there.
All right, okay, all right.
Just relax.
Homer has caught more muskie than anybody in the world. Well over 3,000.
A muskie will hit anything that moves. He'll just hit anything through meanness in a lot of cases, not because he's hungry or anything.
We circled the area and then...
All right, here you are.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
All right. In Canadian waters, you need a Canadian license, and the muskie has to be at least 38 inches long.
Another swim whiz.
39 inches.
What'd you catch it on?
2 on in less than 45 minutes. But you know, it wasn't me. It was Homer and the homemade lures.
What would you say if I told you that I had 17 on in one day?
17, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Anytime you catch fish, it's fun. But this was special.
That's it.
Look at that sucker. For the day, 10 strikes, 7 on the line, 2 keepers.
Praise the Lord.
Homer has written 2 books on muskie fishing, and he's fished on Lake St. Clair for more than 75 years.
If you're fishing for a muskie and you want to catch a muskie, you got to think like a muskie. Big day. Big day.
Tomorrow we'll take 2 walleye charters on Lake Erie, and do we catch fish?
There's a keeper.
Yeah, buddy. John Gross, Channel 7 Sports.
Does that look terrific? I think I've been fishing maybe twice in my life.
Oh.
I'm going to have to do that.
You
That
have
looks
to.
terrific.
Oh,
Well, excuse me. Tigers have...
Nice for both of them.
Sure would. Nice for the Tigers. Okay, Jay, thanks.
Few people are graced with the title living legend, but that's the way fishermen worldwide refer to Homer Leblanc of St. Clair Shores. The Metro Detroiter has now received one of the most prestigious honors awarded. John Gross has his story.
In 1984, we did a close-up on fishing, including a feature on Homer Leblanc.
This is a muskie call. See, a muskie is a big muskie. You see, I call him.
Homer has caught more muskie than anybody in the world, well over 3,000.
A muskie will hit anything that moves. He'll just hit anything through meanness in a lot of cases, not because he's hungry or anything.
Homer is 84 now and still active.
Now, I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to live like one. And so nobody lives better than me.
A little over 2 weeks ago, Homer was voted into the National Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, and he's been declared a living legend.
It's just an honor, that's all, that I'll pass on to my kids and daughters and so forth.
Homer has written a book on muskie fishing, and his invention, the Swim Whiz, is world famous.
You see, the 5 greatest things in this world is women and children, woods and waters, and muskies. If you're fishing for a muskie and you want to catch a muskie, you got to think like a muskie.
At 84, Homer offers this advice.
Don't smoke, lay off the booze and drugs and all that, and get out there and get a lot of fresh air. Get fishing on them waters.
Homer and his wife will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary August 3rd. John Gross, Channel 7 Action News reporting.
This just